Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome to the Healthy Illness Podcast. I am your host, Kelly Marie. The Healthy Illness Podcast is all about helping you build healthier relationships while living with mental health conditions. I am so excited to have you here on the show. And this week, we are talking about questions you should ask your doula. As you know, I have been on my doula journey. I've become a doula and want to be able to share with you ways in which you can learn and grow in this space if you or a loved one are in childbirthing years or are looking to become a parent, maybe through surrogacy or some other means, and you're interested in learning about what having a doula in the delivery room with you would be like. If you are interested in just learning more about dueling, this is the place for you for the next couple of podcasts. You can have some guests on the show to talk about their experience as doulas, why they began this journey, and also connecting you with resources for you to be able to decide if having a doula with you and your birth experience is something that is of interest to you. Today, we are talking about questions you should ask doulas in the interviewing process. So that's the first thing right there, right? You need to, if you're interested in having a doula in your birthing journey, you want to interview a couple of doulas to see who would be the best fit for you. In most states, doula services are only available through out of pocket payment. In some states, like mine, New York, if you have Medicaid, doula services are reimbursable through Medicaid. And so you're able to have a doula if you have Medicaid or a Medicaid managed care provider as it stands right now. We don't know what's happening on a federal level, which will then impact the state level. But as it stands right now in New York State, doula services are covered by Medicaid and Medicaid managed care organizations. So, a part of having a doula and understanding a doula's role in your childbirth journey is really important. And the very first thing, like I said, is to know that you can interview your prospective doulas to see which one would be the best fit for you and your family and your childbirthing experience. So, this episode today is all about those questions. We've got about 20 questions to run through. Feel free to pause, come back, re listen, jot down the ones that you love, take what makes sense, and forget the rest. Again, just like every birthing experience is going to be unique, having a doula in that space is also going to be a unique experience. Every doula is not the same. Every doula does not have the same education and training. Every doula does not have the same philosophy on childbirth and childbirthing experiences or their role as a doula in the childbirth experience. And so it's important to ask those kind of questions. Questions are going to be like general background questions about the doula, philosophy and approach about doulaing, their services and availability, collaboration and hospital interaction, support techniques, emotional and mental health supports, logistics, payment, that kind of thing, fit, so personal fit with that person and their communication style, and backup planning. Those are the subcategories of questions that we are going to dive into in our time today. So, when looking for a doula and you found a couple, it is important to interview them, to ask them questions because this is your birth journey. I want you to feel empowered to own this part of your experience and ask the questions without shame, without apology. Like, you deserve to know exactly what is happening in this journey that you're embarking on. And so the first question, really, how long have you been a doula? Did you just start? Have you been at this for decades? Like, what's your background in being a doula? So, how long have you been a doula? How many births have you attended? What type of education and training do you have in this space? And what kind of doula are you? Are you a birth doula? Are you a postpartum doula? Do you have a specialty in mental health or vaginal births after C sections? You want to know the background of the person. So doula services and doula training and education, this space is unregulated. So unlike nursing, doula work is not regulated by a regulatory agency. So a person does not have to have had any training in order to be a doula. They don't have to have assisted in any births or attended any births before becoming a doula. They can just hang their shingle out there and say, "Hey, look, I'm a doula, and I'm about this doula life." So it's important to ask people, literally, seriously, what training and education do you have? What experience do you have as a doula? How long have you been doing this? And what type of doula are you? So that was your general background questions. On to philosophy and approach. Three questions to ask here. What's your philosophy around childbirth and your role in that process? How do you support clients during unmedicated births and medicated births? How do you support clients during C sections? And the last question, how do you support partners? And not just during labor, but throughout the pregnancy and labor and delivery. For me, I believe in having a healthcare team. And so it is really important that birthing people have community around them. And that everyone has their role and understands what their role is. And so I want to meet with the whole birthing team. Yes, the person that's pregnant. Yes, the partner, the family, siblings, besties, who is providing support, who is going to be there, who is supporting the birthing parent, who is supporting the partner, right? Like all of those people I want to meet with, because the more folks you have on your team, the lighter the lift. So those are your three questions around philosophy and approach. And also, you can kind of hear my background in how I view the support team and support work as it relates to the birthing team and the birthing parent. So, services and availability. What services are included in your doula package? Again, so if they are a birth doula, are they a postpartum doula? Do they specialize in, again, services like mental health doula? What is it that that person does, and what does the package include? How many sessions does it include prior to birth? How many sessions did the package include after birth? How many hours will you be there when you are in labor? All of those questions are necessary and important. Are you available by phone, by text, by email support throughout the pregnancy and when it comes time to actual delivery? Are you on call? And how do you handle overlapping births? So for me, I only have about 2 births a month. That works well with my schedule. And so I'm able to still do my day job and make room and time in my schedule for being a doula and being able to be there for my clients. So those are your service and availability questions. You want to ask about collaboration and hospital interaction. Different hospitals have different relationships and different understanding around the importance or lack thereof of doulas in the labor and delivery process. So, not every hospital, not every labor and delivery unit will be overly supportive of doulas. Some are like, we let them in here, but we could live without them. Other hospitals are like, man, we love doulas and they have a special place, within the organization. Every organization is different. So every hospital is different. Birthing centers, again, you'll find doulas, because doulas provide more of a holistic coaching experience. You will find that birthing centers and midwives use and support doulas. I want to say more so than hospitals, but depending upon your region, more so than hospitals. So how does that person work alongside midwives, doctors, nurses within a hospital system, at birthing centers? You want to know their familiarity with hospital policies and giving birth. Again, different hospitals have different policies. Different hospitals have different rules and regulations around who can be in the birthing room, who can be in the operating room if there is a cesarean. Every organization has a different set of rules. And it's important for the doula that you're working with. You may find it to be important. So let me not say it's important. It is up to you what you deem important or not. But a great question to know is how familiar, question to ask is how familiar the doula is with the different policies and procedures at the area hospitals. When it comes to support techniques, so throughout the pregnancy and in labor and delivery, what type of support techniques does the doula typically use to assist birthing folks during pregnancy and birth? So, what comfort measures do you use? Are they using massage? Do they use aromatherapy? Do they use different positions? They being the doula, does the doula bring any tools with them? So, do they bring a TENS unit? TENS unit is this little machine. They put these little patches on the part of your body that is experiencing pain, connects to a little machine. Excuse me, connects to a little machine. The machine dials up to create electromagnetic pulsing sensations, and that helps alleviate pain. So that's a TENS unit. Do they use a rebozo? Rebozo, it's called many things. It's similar in many cultures, but it's a large, stable cloth that is used to often support the belly. It can be used to position the baby in labor. And so it's important to know, what type of tools the doula brings with them, let alone what you may have in your house or what may be available at the hospital. So, what does the doula bring with them? And how do you handle a long labor? Some labors are quick, some are not. And it's important to know up front when your doula is going to show up, how long they stay with you, what that process is going to be like. Most doulas will check on a birthing person when contractions are becoming steadier and will show up when the person goes to the hospital. Every doula is different. It is important to ask that question so you know what to expect, when to expect it, and if that answer is good enough for you in your labor and delivery experience. Another support technique that is used is acupressure. There are different ways to assist people experiencing pain in labor to reduce that pain, but also when it comes to the entire pregnancy, using comfort measures throughout the pregnancy to be able to assist the birthing parent in changes to the body, changes in the way you carry weight shifts and changes. And so it has a different effect on your body. Every person is different, but there are comfort measures that can be implemented at any point in pregnancy, and especially in the labor and delivery section of the pregnancy journey. So, when it comes to emotional and mental health support, a question that I think is important to ask is how do you, the doula, how does the doula help the birthing parent manage fear and anxiety, any unexpected changes that may happen during labor, unwanted, but things change in labor. There is nothing like the body to decide it's not going to do the things you need and want it to do when you need and want it to do it. So, how does that doula work with you and your support team through all of those pieces, through fear, through anxiety, through unexpected changes in life? Are there other children in the family? And how will those children, kind of be incorporated into the birthing process? And what role does the doula play if things don't go as expected? So not only how Do you help during unexpected changes? But what role specifically does the doula play when and if an unexpected change occurs? Logistics and payment. So this can be weird to ask about, but it's your money and your body, your experience, your baby. And so you want to know what the fees are, and what's included in those fees. Back to what's in your package, right? So when you find out and ask about what's in the package, it's important to know what you're paying for in that package. So what are the fees and what's included in those fees? Do they offer payment plans? Most doulas do offer some payment plans. The doulas that I know all have payment plans that are to be completed prior to birth, because things happen after birth. You've got a baby to take care of. You're up all night, diapers and things, and family, other kids, and like there's a lot happening after you give birth. Surprisingly, more so than like while you're pregnant. It just is life and how things roll out. So that is a question that you can ask. And then also, what is the refund and cancellation policy? If it's a matter of deciding not to have a doula or going in a different direction, maybe things aren't working well with the doula that you have, life happens. What's your refund or cancellation policy? Right? Do you move? And now you're going to be in another state. And so, you know, is that doula moving with you? How is that going to work out? So those are three key questions to ask there. Fit and communication. And so this really dives into the kind of relationship that you'll have with your doula. How does the doula build relationships with the client, you being the client? What is the doula's communication style? Are they a talker? Are they short and sweet to the point? It's also important, like a little side note here, for you to know what you need when it comes to communication. Do you need lots of explanation? Do you already know what's happening? Already got the whole thing planned out? You've read all the books, you've seen all the videos. You just need your doula to come in there and coach you, and y'all knock this thing out together. That's a possibility. Or do you need someone to explain more, to have more appointments up front to talk about the process and to build up to labor? Do you need someone who is more hands-on, like literally more hands-on, helping with comfort measures, helping to teach your support team about comfort measures and how to use them? Are they walking with you, during labor and delivery? Like, it's okay to ask those questions, and it's important because this person is going to be with you in some very intimate moments of your life. I believe it is important for you to be able to be comfortable talking to your doula, comfortable knowing that your doula is listening to you, comfortable knowing that they can read a room if that's a thing. Everybody is not in a good place with friends and family, especially family. Friends you can kind of keep in line, but sometimes family gets a little pushy. They want things to be a certain way, right? And it's a doula's responsibility to support the needs of the birthing parent. Okay? Support the birthing needs, or support the needs of the birthing parent. And a part of that is working with the support team, the family, the partner, and what that looks like in the not just labor delivery process, but in the pregnancy as well. So, what is the doula's communication style? How do they like to talk? Do they mind getting text messages, 24 hours a day? Do you need that? Is that something that is helpful to you? If so, you should bring that up in conversation with the doula. It's better to know up front. It is better to be able to, when you're looking at several people, say, you know what, I think this person is going to be the best one for our experience because we've asked all the questions that we needed to ask and we've got the answers that we received. So we know where we're going to lean. We know who is going to be, the doula that we think is best for our pregnancy, birth, labor, delivery. One of the questions that fall under fit and communication, which can also really fall under our first section of general background, is, why did the person become a doula? What drives them? Also, under the philosophy subheader, that question, why did you become a doula, may very well answer some of your other questions, because that person may begin to tell you about their education and training. They may tell you about the first time they were in the delivery room. They may tell you about the difficult situation that they've had to encounter, right? Like, why did you become a doula and what was that process like for you? Again, beginning and end of the question asking process will help you better get to know and better understand the person that you're talking to. Last group of questions, and that falls under backup plan, and I just want to touch on something real quick. So, backup plan. Do you have a backup doula, and can you meet them? Life happens. Babies come when babies want to come, and it is quite possible that your doula is assisting another client when you go into labor. So, for me, I have 2 births a month. That's my max, but babies come when babies want to come, and one of those births may end up in the next month. There's nothing I can do about that. And so it's necessary for me, and I believe all doulas should have them, have a backup doula to support, one, in the case of 2 labors happening at once. I think that happens more often with doulas that have a larger practice, but it's important to ask that question because you never know. And in meeting that backup doula, you may hit it off great with the doula, and the backup doula, not so much. And you don't want to be in the midst of your labor with the backup doula when you could have maybe had a better relationship, a better opportunity to connect with a doula and their backup that works well for you. And then the last question under backup plan is, how often do you miss births and why? And so, to be honest, there are a few instances where a doula should be missing a birth. Either a baby came early and the doula has a planned vacation, right? Or a huge life circumstance has happened in the life of the doula, and not like, oh, it's, Mima's birthday and we're having dinner at Golden Corral. If that is the case, that doula needs to be with you, helping you work through your labor. One of the best responses that I have seen and now give when I make appointments with people, not appointment, like agree to attend events and things like that, is I'll be there if I'm not giving birth. Right. There's nothing that's going to keep me from being there for my client, except, again, some extenuating, out of control circumstance personally in my life, which is, a rarity. Never say never. Right. But we're talking about really a big deal. I am hesitating in using the word life and death in this situation, but honestly, that's the level of separation, right? That there should be few reasons. The doula is sick, and attending to you would possibly cause you, the baby, your family members harm, or there is something happening in the doula's life. Again, loss, tragedy, happens. But outside of that, the doula should be there. There is no reason why someone should be picking a dinner over delivery. This is the life that we've chosen in becoming a doula. And it is imperative, right, that we show up for our clients. To be honest, if you are a doula out there and you happen to come across this podcast, I'm telling you right now, if you are picking dinner over delivery, reconsider, right, this practice, this work that we do, because this is a truly sacred space. And that is my belief. That is not necessarily the belief of all doulas. And that is why you need to ask, because you don't want to be in a position of needing your doula. And again, not on a Tuesday night, the sun is shining and you're having Braxton Hicks contractions, right? Or practice contractions. I don't want to really use that term anymore. You're having practice contractions, you're very early, and the doula's out of town, right? Like you would know in advance that the doula is not available and you would have the backup doula's information. Again, this was planned in advance. You see what I'm saying? And so you want to be able to ask the tough questions. You want to be able to get the answers to the questions that you have because this is your experience and we are here to assist you in your experience. So if you have other questions, ask them. If you have questions around culture, if you have questions around religious beliefs, whatever questions you may have, ask them. This is the time to do it. So if you do have other questions that you've asked in interviewing a doula, I would love to know. These 20 or so questions that I gave you pretty much cover them all. Again, you can dive deeper. There are more questions you can ask again around culture and experience and specific scenarios. Again, is this pregnancy one where you want to have a vaginal delivery after a C-section? Does the doula have experience in that space? You're having twins. Does the doula have experience in that space, right? So it is okay to use your personal experience in your question asking to ensure that the doula that you select is the doula for you. So that's it. You've got the list of questions. Go forth and find your doula. If you're interested in learning more, join me for the next few episodes. I'm bringing on some doulas that have been doing this work for many years and are, I don't use the word trendsetters, but they are revolutionary women uh, in this space of dueling, and I want to introduce them to you. And I would love to hear from you about your experience with a doula, your experience as a doula, and your feedback when you get to meet my guests. So until the next time, I encourage you to be the light. We will be covering doulas, doula practices, questions, the whole process of childbirth and childbirth education and what all those components mean and how they're helpful to you in our next couple episodes here on the Healthy Illness Podcast. Big shout out to Jazzcast Pros Network and all of the podcasters on Jazzcast Pros Network. Check them out if you have not. There is a bevy of podcast hosts that are covering topics around life, around business, around health and wellness, around spirituality that you may find important and necessary to add to your list of podcasts that you listen to. So until the next time, I am Kelly Marie, your host of Healthy Illness Podcast. Be the light.